For me, it's just as much about mindset and my energy and just performance as it is about the aesthetics. And a lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, we want to have great bodies. We want to look good because when you look good, you feel good. It gives you confidence. But for me, it totally changes like my mindset. You're going to get your ass up no matter how you feel. Welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Crane, and I got my homies, my friends, clients, collaborators, JC Chanowsky and Angela Chanowsky here with me today. Thank you for joining me. I'm super excited to do this podcast. I titled it The Power Couples Playbook. And the reason I created that title for you two is because you're making big moves. You're getting healthy and fit. You're traveling all over the place, building your businesses, going and speaking at events. And I want to talk to you too about a lot of things. But first of all, just let you know that I have a ton of respect for you, admiration for what you're doing personally and professionally. And I love seeing couples who do it together because I think that just gives you a superpower. Like when you have that person by your side who's supporting you and holding you accountable, you're going to give more effort and you're more likely to be successful that way. So thank you for being here. How you two doing today?
Sean, we're doing great. It's Friday. We get to close out the week with you.
Yeah.
I literally just got back from the gym. I didn't make it this morning. Angela got a workout in, and my 15-year-old daughter is like, Dad, we got to work out. I was like, I cannot show up to Sean's podcast and pull the move where I had a little B card and not work out today. So just got a good pump in, and now I'm ready.
Yeah, man. Isn't it amazing how working out changes how you show up? Like for me, it's just as much about mindset and my energy and just performance as it is about the aesthetics. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, yeah, we want to have great bodies. We want to look good because when you look good, you feel good. It gives you confidence. But for me, it totally changes like my mindset. I have so much more clarity and I'm so much more focused and my energy's on point when I work out. Is that how you two feel about your health and fitness in general as well?
Yeah, I'd say we have routines for a reason. And usually it's wake up at 4:21, right? 4:21, 4:21, gym by 5.
Why
And
421? Why 421?
Well, I used to wake up right before like 4:27 before I met him because that meant like boots, like feet on the ground. I power or my pre-workout in and I could be moving by 4:30, but I moved it to 4:20 when we met. This is so sappy. So I can get one snooze cuddle in.
Oh, there you go.
The snooze is 9 minutes, so I can have 9 minutes of cuddling before. It's important for my energy to get it right as well for the day, right? Anything that I want to get my energy right for the day before we hit it at 4:30.
Yeah, that snooze button, man. It's
We'll
nice
get
if
I
you
know
got
I
someone
do
to.
not believe in a snooze button. For those listening, like I
Before
wrote
me, she
about that
never
in my
did.
book.
Yeah.
I do not believe in a snooze button because it's like this thing that distracts your energy. You make a decision, it's already decision fatigue. But for me, the snooze button right now is not a decision fatigue or a lazy thing. It's a pre-conscious decision that I spend 4:21 to 4:30 snuggling and getting energy from my husband and like getting our like physical energy right before we hit the day. So it's just part of my morning ritual.
I love it. You're both winning there, right? JC's stoked, you're stoked. Hey, here's the thing too, like you're intentional about it. The
Yeah.
reason the snooze button is detrimental to people or the whole idea of it is because you're putting off the things that you need to do to improve your
Yes.
life. If
Yeah.
if you could hit snooze for 10 minutes and get up and crush it, like hit snooze every day, that's fine. But for a lot of people, it's symbolic of procrastinating on their dreams and who they really want to
Yes.
be,
Mhm.
and it becomes a pattern. Um, and if you don't have something important to get up for, you're gonna hit snooze because sleep feels good when you're tired, right? But if
Yeah.
you got goals and you've trained yourself to get up and pursue those goals, you're gonna get your ass up no matter how you feel. Uh,
Absolutely.
so so let's talk about your routines. Other than that, Angela, I'm curious. When you get up at 4:21, what time are you going to the gym by 5, or what does that morning routine look like for you two?
Yeah. So I now call it morning ritual because I just think that sounds like it's on purpose and somehow routine to me sounds like this is just my normal routine. And ritual sounds to me like this is intentional, this is with purpose. So I am like super into morning ritual. I have been for a long time, even before we met. So, yes, we go to the gym. I agree with you that like pumping and physical energy and stretching yourself physically is about the hormones, the endorphins, all of that. When you push yourself in the morning, it just changes your mindset. It gets your energy right, all of that. So I'm big on that. My morning ritual has always kind of followed Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. So
Yeah.
I love all those things. I listen to an Audible book while I'm at the gym. I try not to log into social media or email or anything and let any other energy hit me before I have my time. So we work out together at the gym, listen to Audible books. He said we look like business owners at the gym because we're always like taking our AirPods out and be like, did you hear that? We should do this. We should do this. And then I love we do the sauna together right after. The perfect morning is sauna, cold plunge, grounding, meditation in the sauna. And then my final thing that rounds it out is affirmations, visualization, and a brain dump on morning pages.
Yeah,
That's a lot. But
that's a stacked morning process right there. You know, it's funny you mentioned Al Helrod. I remember I read his book when I was in prison, the Miracle Morning, and
yeah.
I was like, wow, I'm doing these things. You know, I had the craziest experience. Like I'd get books by Al Helrod or Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich or a Tony Robbins book, and I would read it and I'd recognize that I was already doing a lot of the things that they were telling people to do. I started doing them intuitively. It was kind of like survival. Like, okay, if I get up early and I have alone time, I have more patience throughout the day and composure, and I'm not going to get in a
Mhm.
fight. Or, you know, I could think about my future and the goals I have, and that could help me tap into gratitude versus recognize I'm in this horrible place. So, a lot of the things I was doing, and one of the books that stood out to me the most was The Miracle Morning, because prior to going to prison, for me at least, I didn't have a morning routine. Like most people, I would jump up, race out the door, drink coffee. I'd be up for like I'd want to sleep as much as I could before I had to go to work, you know? Like, and then when I was forced to have quiet time and reflect, it changed my whole life. And so for me, I still do the same process to this day. You know, I like solitude. I like time to think and reflect in the morning before I do anything, because
Mhm.
that's when your mind's the most fresh. You know, you're coming out of sleep, you haven't made a million decisions, you haven't had to do a bunch of stuff throughout the day, so you don't have that decision fatigue, you know? And gosh, all of my greatest ideas, all of my creativity, all of my intuition stems from that morning process. So I
Mhm.
Yeah.
love what you're saying, and I think for everybody, it could be a little different. There's not like a perfect blueprint. I don't do the exact same thing every day. I always have solitude and self-reflection. I always work out, but most mornings I read and journal. Today, I did a meditation instead. I did a 20-minute meditation, and it was awesome. And like, so for me, it's just about getting, like you said, my energy right, my mindset right for the day. And then when you go and work out, it just takes it to that next level because you get that surge of energy, those endorphins, like you said. And you go into your day feeling like a winner. Like if you can get yourself up early and stack those wins on your personal development, it carries over into how you show up, whether you're going into an office or you're raising kids. Like you just bring such a better energy into your day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how your morning process sets you up for success in the day. What are some things you've noticed over the years?
Yeah, I mean the routine, for me in the early morning gym, we were both morning gym people before we met each other, and it just worked that we were close in that relationship of being able to go together. When we get there, we've got our app for Unstoppable, which is great, and then we go in there. We have a routine through that app too. Every day is different, which helps switch it up and keeps us guessing. But we found, excuse me, when we miss the day, or let's say we're not feeling well, it just completely derails us. Like everything is off. Like I mean, forget about the coffee, forget about everything. The energy is not there. So keeping consistent with that morning routine. This way, you get that workout in the morning. There's no excuse the rest of the day. It doesn't matter what went wrong, the kids, work, family life. Like our health is so important. If we can't show up for ourselves, how can we show up for other people? So getting that knocked out first thing is like it's like I mean, that's part of our relationship. We probably said that within our vows. Like, I do. I promise to work out every day.
Or stretch you or keep you accountable. I mean, it's great that, like you said, we had that before we met each other, and it's just like it's not a decision, like it's just what we do. And I think one of the things that's been most important that we do together is we travel a lot. Like we're gone almost half of the time traveling.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I mean, we always found hotels that had gyms and like working out was always part of it. But one thing that's changed is sleep wasn't
Mm.
as much a part of our travel. We would just like find flight times that worked and we would work out and not skip workouts when we travel. But now we design our times of travel around like get good sleep and get a good workout. So for example, next week, I mean, we're on a string of 4 different shows that we're speaking at. And like we design and we will design our flights around leaving instead on Monday so we can get good sleep on Monday night and be at a gym on Tuesday morning. So like really designing your life. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm consistent. And then all these things happen. It's like, no, you design your life around this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's just being super intentional. I like how you mentioned sleep too, because sleep is one of the most important factors in your overall performance. Or if you want to build muscle or lose fat, or if you want to be sharp in your speech and get good content and get in that creative zone, like if you're not sleeping and you're not rested and recovering, it compromises all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I love that you shared that. I'm curious, what are the 4 strings of events that you're doing? I know that like what are the ones you're doing? Break them down.
So Tuesday we have it's Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday I've got a lighting event that we'll be doing in Nashville. Wednesday we're doing kind of like a group conference for the lighting industry with a bunch of other business
Bright industry secret.
bright industry secrets. Thursday is the huge convention. We'll both be speaking together on stage there Thursday afternoon.
That's what is that Win the Storm?
No, that's at the one in Nashville. So that's
Oh,
before Winter Storm, or actually going on during Winter Storm. So we speak in Nashville on Thursday, and again, she talked about designing our travel. We were originally going to leave Thursday, get there Thursday, but we want to get a workout, so we're leaving Wednesday night to go work out with you guys Thursday morning, right?
No, we leave Thursday night.
Thursday night to work out with you
yeah.
guy Friday morning because we don't want to miss it. We're working out with you and Matt, and then Angela will be on stage Friday at Win the Storm, and then she'll head over to Salt Lake to go hang out with the door experts and Sam Taggart and have an event over there.
Nice. That's a good 4 or 5 days in a row. Speaking of Sam Taggart, I saw your post the other day about the girl who sold you on the pest control. I thought that was a really good post. Right?
It was it was hilarious because I'm in the backyard. It was real quick. I'm in the backyard and I see this girl walking up. And I just got out of the gym and I'm like, oh no, there's not today, Tina. Like you're not getting me. And I threw my shirt off real quick and I opened the door and I was like, can I help you? And she's giving me her speech and I was like, my mind's a little different now working with Sam. And I was like, well, let me just see how this goes. And then we just start talking. And she's like, I know Sam. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. Come on in. Let's have a conversation. How much and how much, sign the contract now. So it was pretty cool to see like, people we follow or inspire us and like lead us, that what they're doing is helping others do be successful.
Yeah. And once you're in sales too, like you kind of want to like people that come to your house and they're trying to sell stuff, you're more likely to listen to them and respect what they're doing a little bit because door to door is not easy.
Mm-mm.
I had a guy come here that wanted to power wash like my house and my porch and my patio and my driveway. And yeah, I just did it just to give him some money. He was like a younger kid, it wasn't a bunch of money, but I was like, dude, I respect your hustle. You're out here door knocking.
Yeah.
He carried himself well. And I even told him that. I was like, I don't really need the pressure washing done, but I just want to support you, dude. So now he comes back like every 60 days, and
Yeah.
but it's cool. I love seeing younger people who are ambitious. I think ambition is lost on the world nowadays, for a lot of young people. And sales and door knocking is not easy. It requires confidence. It requires resiliency. It requires you to train and develop skill sets. So anytime I can personally reward that in people and incentivize them, I want to. And I was thinking about my children. Another entrepreneur I know told me that he bought gumball and candy machines, and he
Mhm.
has his kids. He placed them in like one of his daughter's gymnastics place or another spot for his son, and they have to go there and fill up the candy machines once a week, collect the change. And so I was like, well, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that for my younger kids. I told them, look, I'll buy you this candy machine. It's like $250, but then you're in charge of like reminding me we got to go check on it, we got to fill it up, and all the money that you collect, you're going to have to pay me back initially. You're not going to keep that money. And then they're like, well, we have to give you our money. I said, just until you pay me back what I put forth for you. This is how business works. So just teaching them at a young age, like how business works. And then I kind of planted a seed, I'm like, and then if you save all your money and you don't spend any of it, you can buy a vending machine. They're $2,000 plus. And then from there, you could do the same thing, but you're making more money. And it's just cool to start teaching young people, especially your own family and children at a young age, like that entrepreneurship, right? That's that spirit they need, the mindset, understanding how to create a business. Like it requires leverage, debt, all these things. Way different education than they're going to get going to school and seeing people that just get 9 to 5s and just becoming like a cog in the wheel. We don't want that. And like you two are the epitome of that. You're out hustling, you're traveling. Let's talk about your businesses a little bit. How's it going for you this year? And like, what are some highlights of business or some, breakthroughs, takeaways, challenges that you've experienced in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about a recent win with us. We just got back from the Philippines with the Unique Genius team out there. Pretty incredible opportunities. The second time we've been out there, and mathematically and logistically, it was a nightmare because we had to bring 140 of our team to one location, the Philippines. And we have 7,000 islands out there. It can be pretty hard. So, getting the logistics handled for that, plus us going out there, we were able to bring our first client out there who has 12. Strategic partners working for him. It's just a huge blessing for us to see what Angela's built and grown over the last 5 years. Well, now yes, but you started it. But just seeing that and the change we've had since last year when we were there. I mean, we literally 2x the amount of people that showed up. So going out there to pour into the team, and just like when you go to these events, these masterminds, now we're doing it for our own team to go out there and show them what's possible, talk about their future, their growth personally and professionally, and cast that vision for them that, they have a home with us and they have a future with us. And this is where we're trying to grow and go to. And we want you to be locked and holding hands with us along the way.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. That's a big initiative to take that many people out to the Philippines. I know. I always see you going to like Asia. You're like in Thailand. You're in the Philippines. You both travel a lot, right? So let's talk about that because Angela, you mentioned sleep, and then making sure you're traveling ahead of time so you can get to a gym or just be more organized when you travel. But what about nutrition when you're traveling to Asia or you're in the Philippines? How do you maintain some consistency with the food you're eating, or just at least get like protein in? And have you experienced challenges doing that when you're traveling overseas?
Yeah, so Unstoppable has helped us a lot of the supplement stack and making it easy. So like our supplements, we found a great way to like pack, do all the things. We make reels about that of like putting all the things just in something for us both to take. So like we're stacked full of supplements. You guys make it easy with the packets, individual packets, but we always have that packed and ready to go for 2 weeks so we can like easily just it's ready to go and on track. Then another thing is just staying on like things that are easy to get no matter where you go. So for me, an easy protein, like to make sure that we have enough protein, and um I think we just focus on like eating clean. We experience the culture and experience stuff, and we just like aren't attracted to junk anymore. But focusing on getting enough protein and enough local protein. When we travel, the easiest thing for me is Greek yogurt, just finding clean Greek yogurt. And we try not to supplement with protein powder, but I have just a clean Vital Proteins collagen protein powder that we always just take so you can get some extra in Greek yogurt. And then I took pictures the last time we travel. Like, I'm more simplistic than you. Like, I just find beef wherever we go. I'm just like beef for lunch, steaks, kebabs, whatever. Like, I just have like a steak on my plate for like every single thing there is. The fun thing about Asia is it's really close to Japanese Wagyu beef.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean
way
that
less way less expensive in Asia. But I focus on that. I think he's a little more versatile in his proteins, but I'm just like, give me how much steak I can always have. And if you focus on the size and amount of clean beef protein.
yeah. What's your go-to protein, JC?
Um, we eat a lot of steak. Trying to get more lean chicken in. She's not a fan of chicken as much as I am, but luckily we're very similar in everything. We just don't naturally eat junk food. Like if you go in our cupboard downstairs, there's not bags of chips. There's not like yo-yos and ding dongs and anything like that. So we typically eat clean naturally here. So that when we travel, if we're going someplace, we're looking for the cleaner options. And when we're ordering for each other, we know what we like. So it makes it really easy that we're not like, well, you need to get vegan and you need to go get, whatever like that. So it just makes it easier that we can naturally go to the same places and be on the lookout for the best options for us.
One thing
Yeah.
about traveling internationally, I mean, our hardest part is probably traveling in the US because the food here isn't as good. So you really have to focus on, let's go to a steakhouse, let's order a steak. Like, it's much harder when you travel in the US. When you travel internationally, like, they don't have dirty food like we do. Like, restaurants and everywhere, like, it's really clean. You can eat whatever there is on the menu and not feel bad. And
Yeah.
so that's just a big difference. It's not like we don't experience culture. Like, I do love French fries, and we don't eat McDonald's or fast food ever in the US. But if it's a nice restaurant where we have fries as a side and I eat a couple of them, yes. You don't have to feel bad about that. You don't have to feel bad about eating a couple of, like, trying
She
local
eats more than a
delicacies.
couple. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah, well, when you were saying that about traveling to Asia and you're like, "I'm eating just a lot of beef," I was thinking, yeah, a lot of that's what I was thinking. I was like, "I bet you the food over there, like, all your choices are pretty healthy. They don't have so much processed
Yeah.
crap." Literally,
Yeah.
when you travel in the US, your best bet is to fast all day or bring food with you on the plane, and then, like you said, hit a steakhouse. Like, I used to
Yeah.
just on my travel days, I would just say, "Okay, I'm fasting today." But, now
Yeah.
I bring
Eating
pre-prep meals, you know? What
Yeah,
do you say?
eating overseas is completely different as far as like satisfying hunger and
Yeah.
feeling full on a small plate compared to, the massive size portions that they serve you here in the United States. In Asia, it's very small portions, but it's very filling. You don't regret it afterwards. You don't feel bloated ever. At least I haven't experienced that. Anytime we travel Europe and Asia,
No,
like
like, we feel really good. We don't gain weight. We're not bloated. We, like, it's
Yeah.
easy.
Well,
Now,
less ingredients.
traveling on an airplane when you're on travel days, like you said, you do have to be careful of that. And I think we're mindful of that and pack, like, jerky, like, clean jerky. I don't do well with fasting. Like, if I'm on an airplane, I'm just like, I need to eat something. But you just need to plan ahead so you're not eating the sun chips and the cookies that they give you, right? Like, if you
Yeah.
want to eat on the airplane, like, pack
Well,
clean
how
jerky.
yeah, how crazy is it, the culture, right? Like, if I went to the hospital the other day with someone, actually a couple months ago, they had to get some blood work done or something, and I look in the lobby where we're at, and it's like Lay's potato chips, like, everything in the little bowl for snacks was all unhealthy. And
Mhm.
then if you go to, like, for instance, my kid's school or, they're playing soccer and they're having a celebration after, all the treats and snacks are unhealthy,
Yep.
or on the airplane. Everything they feed you it wouldn't be in the category of healthy. Like,
Right.
the food has way more salt added to it. It's chips. It's those wafer bars that are high in sugar.
It's coffee,
It's
yeah.
like, damn, who made these damn rules? Like, they've tricked people for so long. And that's why you look at other countries though, and it's not that way. The ingredients in French fries and cereal for kids, the way that they cook their food, even their bread. Like, I hear a lot of people go, "Yeah, you go to Europe and you can eat all the bread. You don't
Yeah.
gain any weight or get bloated. But here, you eat bread and you're screwed. Like, you have leaky gut and you have all these issues." So it's kind of mind blowing, like, why we would ever let it get to this point. But now more than ever, there's awareness and people are making changes. And if you're a parent or just somebody that wants to be healthy, you got to do a little research and you got to have some discipline and be
Mhm.
intentional, like you're saying, and think ahead. So, as you two are talking right now, too, I was like, dang, you're on the same page about a lot of stuff. You have that morning process, you work out together, you're both business minded. When you travel, you're on the same page. Is there anything that JC does, Angela, that you don't like? Like, let's ask some tough ones, right? What does JC do, like a pet peeve or something that you don't like that he does?
Oh, dear.
Or how about this? We'll start with an easier one. What's
I was like,
something you guys
see,
argue about? Because you get along about everything. Do you ever argue?
Not
we don't really
really.
argue about, oh,
Nice.
no. Um, no, I mean, and that's taken work. I mean, we've worked a lot, and intentional. I'd say one of the biggest things about like this is power couple is being so vulnerable, working to be transparent. Like that doesn't come easy. That's super intentional, that we've done a lot of work together on ourselves, on our own trauma responses, on our own triggers, like on the things. Like we have intentionally done a lot of work together and constantly have this aligned vision that we want to become the next best versions of ourselves. Like we are on that path no matter what. And so that if we're calling each other out on things, or if it's like, this is the way this made me feel, like learning to communicate that, like I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm not trying to shame you for anything. Like this is what I'm dealing with. This is the way this made me feel. That doesn't mean that you're wrong. This is just like my own insecurities and the way that I'm feeling. And so that I feel like we don't argue because of that. Like we put ourselves in the same, and I think one of the most important things on that are putting ourselves in the same rooms and the same challenges. A lot of times with people that are business minded, that are entrepreneurs, like you're going to events, you're putting yourself in personal growth situations, reading books, listening to podcasts, having conversations with people, and you are going on a different train track than your spouse. Like you are leveling up yourself at such a rapid speed, and your spouse that you are completely aligned with, you're not on the same train track with. And so that's one thing, even though it's crazy being in business together and being two visionaries, I am beyond grateful that we are in the same rooms. We are having conversations. We are leveling ourselves up together so that we're growing at the same exponential speed.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was trying to see if I could get some out of you too, right? Notice I didn't ask JC that question because you
I was
can't be
like, I had one. I
you
had
can't
one.
what is it?
What is it?
You don't know what it is? I was
What?
scared to ask it. I'm a little bit different. I say like I'm like farther ahead on this. The only thing I like not argue about, but I am beyond protectful of that energy. Like I feel like I
Hmm.
talk about it so much, the morning energy. When we talked about morning routine, I do not want phones at all in the bedroom. Zero. From the time like 30 minutes before we go to bed to, and I'm not, he's just not there yet. That's not his thing. For me, I don't want to look at a screen 30 minutes before I go to bed. I don't want to look at a screen to check my email, to check my Facebook. I don't want any outside energy of the outside world to enter me before I have done my meditation exercise. Like, so I don't want to look at my email at the gym. Does that make sense? Like I'm
Yeah.
so passionate about it. I want the world to know that.
Yeah.
And he's different right now. That's okay. He likes to be on ChatGPT and think of ideas, and that's just him. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a pet peeve. That's just the one area we're just like not the same. The only area we're not the same at. Because he's like, look at this. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to look at it. Not until
You're
8
like,
o'clock.
"Get it." Yeah, it's like, "Yeah, get it out of here. Don't show me." That's funny, right? Well,
So
I
not a
think if
pet
you're
peeve, just like the one area that's like,
yeah,
he likes that stuff. That fuels him. That's
yeah.
okay.
Well, research shows that putting your phone away and screen time 30 minutes minimum before bed helps you get better sleep. And then I do think in the morning, if like the first thing you see is a text or an email that's negative or there's an issue in your business or whatever, it could trigger you, and so I get that, and if you're like on ChatGPT or doing something constructive, JC, I can get that too because there's a lot of nights where I'm on my phone before I go to bed. Or sometimes I get up and I have so many ideas and thoughts, and I'm just like, I'll jump like into work
That's
for
good.
15 minutes. And then like, okay, if I do it too much, it just kind of like it can overwhelm you and get you into a stressed response, if you're answering too many messages and stuff. But I could respect that, Angela. I think that's really cool that you don't want the screens around you. Um, and you get way more insightful when you do that because you realize you have. For me though, here's the hard part. Do you write stuff down if you're getting creative ideas? Like, do you journal
Yes.
them down so you can come back later to them? Yeah,
I
for me,
so I the one things I do is I listen to Audible and I open my notes app and do brain dump. So I'm constantly writing down ideas for my book or ideas that come to my mind. I want to be able to have that free flow of ideas without, you said, something making me mad. I've just had that experience. I look at something on social media, or I open a text, or I open an email, and something pisses me off.
Steals your energy.
And then I'm done. And that's all I can think about instead of like my creativity and my time at the gym.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Um, there's something I was going to ask you before that question came up. Well, so what else do you two do to improve yourselves? It sounds like the morning is a big part of your day. Then I'm sure you have a workflow, like you got your workouts and stuff done, going to events. Is there anything else you do as a couple? Because I titled this the Power Couple Playbook, right? Because you're both beasts. You're kicking ass in all areas of life. Like you're setting a high standard for other couples. What else are you doing to stay sharp, to stay motivated, and to continue to improve yourselves both individually and then together?
I think the one big thing that I've learned and just recognized with Angela, because when I met her a few years ago, she was already extremely successful, author, speaker, ran multiple businesses. I wouldn't say I was at the level of her, but it's never been a competition. It's never been like, oh, you're gonna speak at this event. Oh, they want you to go. It's always like, hell yeah, let's go. Like I'm always pushing to get her out there and us together too. But it's always, we're pushing each other to be the best versions of ourselves. It's never like, oh, this is about me today. So for that, it's never a competition. It's always a collaboration, or how we can keep raising that bar, raising the energy. Because there's definitely days where I am down, and more recently, a story about my testosterone. It's been down for years, down the dumps, and trying to stay motivated and have energy was horrible. I did the best I could, but I was so thankful for Angela that every time I was down, she was up and bringing me up with her, not saying "get up, you little," whatever. She was just encouraging me to keep pushing. Luckily, we found you, got my levels tested, and now even recently, I missed a week of my testosterone, and she's like, JC, you need to be doing your shots. Like we need to have this routine going. We have these routines for a reason, and I let it slip. We noticed it, and she fixed it, and here we are today. And now I'm freaking back, rock and rolling, ready to go, and ready to take the stage with her next Thursday. So
Yeah,
just
dude, hell yeah.
elaborate. Yeah.
I'm surprised you missed though something that's that significant that makes that much of an impact on your life. I know you mentioned to me that your levels were like 100, right? When you got on test or something crazy.
89.
What was
89 it was.
89? That's
Yeah.
the lowest I've ever seen in a man. 89 testosterone. And man, it's crazy. Like I was talking to Dr. J, who's my business partner in Unstoppable 365, who you both work with and helps you with your hormones, supplements, peptides, everything. And he helps a lot of high achieving business owners. And he was sharing that a study in the 1930s compared to now showed that men who are 80 years old plus had higher testosterone than men nowadays in their 20s.
I
Yeah.
believe it.
Like, and that's crazy. And whether that's the food, the toxins in the environment, plastics, there's so much stuff that we're being affected by. So it just shows you, and you see younger people nowadays, and like we talked earlier about how ambition is not very relevant in the world for young people. Like they don't got that spark, man, and that's what happens. Like you can attest to this, JC. When your testosterone's low as a man, you don't have that drive, that focus, that motivation. You don't have that killer instinct, and you're just kind of going through life numb to an extent.
Yep.
So, how are you feeling now, though, since you're getting your hormones optimized, you're working out, you're doing all the right stuff? I mean, do you notice a huge difference?
Huge. Absolutely. And energy, my levels, creative thoughts, no more brain fog, chasing her around the house at night, all the things.
Well, you notice what you just said is important. People think, testosterone is all about building muscle and stuff and being a bodybuilder and it's yeah, it's going to help you optimize your health in a number of ways, build muscle, lose fat. But one of the biggest things it changes is your level of motivation, your morale, and then your
Mhm.
brain functioning, like your cognition. And you
Mhm.
said creative ideas, focus, like no brain fog. That's crucial, especially if you're doing as much as you are, running your businesses, taking care of your family, traveling. Like if you're depleted to do that stuff consistently, running on fumes like you are, it's just like what you're like, why am I doing this? I'm not having fun. I'm not feeling the way I want to feel. And that's what a lot of guys who start getting older experience. They lose that spark and they start questioning everything, you know?
Yep.
And
But
then
you said
Angela, what?
like younger men, like that's why it's so important to get tested. Like men that are in their 20s have lower levels than that's why it's so important. Men and women. I mean,
Yeah,
before I got tested, and I had gotten tested before coming to this, like my testosterone levels weren't even measurable. And it made such a big difference. And you just don't even know. So like get educated on your levels because a lot of times you're like going crazy thinking that it's you and you're unmotivated.
yeah.
Um,
Well, and women don't even realize, like, they're like, "Wait, I need testosterone?" Like, yeah, your hormones are very important. And so, we test for men and women. And if someone's listening right now and they're like, "Man, I gotta get my hormones checked," we have a free test. If you go on unstoppable365.com, you can get a free hormone test and see where you're at. That right there is one of the things that can change someone's life. If their hormones are off, it's really, really hard to just feel at your best. Like, you're always going to feel like a little piece of you is missing. But once you can optimize your hormones, it has a cascading effect on all parts of your health. Like we said, your energy, your libido, your sleep, your performance in the gym, your performance at home. You're going to be chasing your wife or your significant other around. Like, that's what we all want. We all want that, Um, and it doesn't matter if you're 40 or 50. You don't have to lose that. That's the thing. That's the coolest thing about blood work and where we're at right now with health and technology and advanced information. Like, people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s are going to be acting and performing the way they did in their 30s,
Yeah.
in all aspects of life. That's my goal. Like, I don't know, how old do you two want to live? Angela, how old do you want to live to be?
yeah, I'm not half done yet.
94.
I know.
I want to be
I'm,
94.
No,
I'm
you
trying to live
know
to be
that.
200, JC. I want to be
Yeah, what
200.
are you thinking?
Like, no limits here, bro. Like, 94. That's like, come on. Think bigger, right? No, but
Yeah, half done.
I want to run a marathon or do a triathlon as a
Under,
centurion, right? Like, if that's the right word, like triple digits. I want to be 100 plus doing a triathlon or a marathon. How badass would that be?
Yeah. And Sean,
we'll figure it out.
I think society made talking about this like a no-no. Like
Yeah.
forever, men couldn't talk about having low testosterone, made you less of a man. And you do a really good job about it. I'm very transparent online, telling people that I've had low testosterone. I've had low testosterone since I was in my 20s, but it wasn't really well perceived or taken by others because you're just something's wrong with you, blah blah blah. And now more and more men, ever since I started talking about it, and it's more out there, not saying just me talking about it, but
Yeah.
they're starting to realize, well, maybe I'm tired for a reason. It's not just because I didn't sleep as much last night. And they're going to get tested and they're like, holy shit, my levels are low. So it's more of a normal thing to be talked about and treated about, and going back to, like, it's not just men taking TRT to go to the gym and just get jacked and
Yeah.
like steroids. It's completely different. I mean, I worked out for months, if not years, without having proper testosterone levels, and I was able to grow in size. But where would I really be right now if my levels been monitored and leveled the whole entire time? Where would I be, business wise, if my brain wasn't in the dumps all the time because I couldn't think straight and couldn't come up with these ideas? So if you're listening to this and you've never had your levels tested, like, I challenge you to go get tested. Go to the doctor. You don't even have to really go to the doctor. Some places will do
Yeah,
it for you.
they have a free test.
And
Yeah.
get out
And
there
well,
and get
here's the crazy thing. Like, so doctors are brainwashed, right? And they're like, honestly, like a pediatrician, they're just somebody that went to school for a long time and memorized information.
oh yeah.
Like, not to demean doctors. I think they're brilliant people and there's a lot of great doctors out there. But what I'm saying is, doctors aren't like, they're not God, right? They're not like, they just read books and learned the things they were told to learn to pass their tests, and then they just apply that. And what I've seen is a lot of doctors are limited in their scope of actually understanding how to treat people. They are more likely to give you a pill to mask symptoms than to figure out what's actually going on, the root cause of your health
Yeah.
issues, and fix that. That's why I love Dr. J so much. He's a naturopath. Like, he gets down to the root cause of the issue and remedies that so all your symptoms go away without pharmaceuticals, without all the bullshit that you have to be on for life. Like, yeah, if you want to get on TRT, you're going to be on it for forever, right? If you want to optimize your health, you're going to take things like peptides and the right supplements forever. Why wouldn't you? But it's way different than going to a pediatrician who gives you are a pediatrician for just children? Let's just say a
Yeah.
Yeah.
regular doctor.
Yeah.
I get those terms
Physician.
mixed up. So they're
Physician.
going to give you a pill to keep blood pressure low, and you're going to take it for the rest of your life. But they're not actually going to figure out why your blood pressure's high.
Yep.
Like, dude, come on. Or they're not going to educate you on nutrition and tell you, hey, maybe you should stop eating like cheeseburgers and donuts and like get to whole foods. Like they're limited in their scope of education. And that's why a lot of the doctors that people go see are like overweight and out of shape. Like,
Yeah.
damn, dude, like, how you gonna tell me what to do? But I talk to so many guys. If you're listening to this and you want to get your hormones checked, do not expect a regular doctor to understand why or then help you to optimize your health. I've had guys go and their testosterone's like 300, which is really low. You want to be between 800 and 1200. And the doctor's like, well, that's good enough. You know, you're like, good enough for what, motherfucker? Like just to exist? Like I want to thrive. I want to be just crushing my goals and have unlimited energy like I should. And so if you go to a regular doctor, they're probably not going to want to test you because they don't want to. I don't know if it costs money for them or what. And then when they do test you, they don't want to put you on TRT or anything.
Mhm.
Like, you're good. And maybe that's what they're taught, right? Because they want men to like whoever's teaching them, right? Whatever the curriculum, whatever the agenda is there, they want you taking pills from the pharmaceutical companies, still eating all the poisonous food that's getting you unhealthy, and they don't want to optimize your health. Like that's kind of what it feels like. And you're like, just like we talked about earlier, why our food in our country is so bad compared to other places. It gets you thinking, right? Like, damn, I'm living in like the Truman Show here. Is this all rigged? Like is this fake? You know?
Yes, it's all
But it
rigged.
feels like it, right? So like talking to you two, remember when you came to Santa Barbara and we hung out? The conversations we have are so abnormal in society. Like the way that we would talk in person and then with Matt, that's like 0.0001% of people talk and think that way. And so when I
Mhm.
say that about the Truman Show, it's funny, but it's not because 99% of people in society, they're like actors in that play. They're bought in, they're doing what they're supposed to do, they're being told from above what to do, and they're living that way. And they're suffering because of that. And we're like the ones that are awake. We have awareness. And we're like seeing all this stuff. We're like, no, I'm not going to be that way. I don't want to just suffer. I don't want to just exist. I want to thrive. So it's refreshing to be around you two, and I'm excited to see you next week in Dallas. But it was really cool when you came to Santa Barbara. Like we worked out, hung
Yes.
out and drank coffee, shot content. Or like, remember we talked about like this is life by design. We're making our own rules.
Yep.
But it requires more of you. You got to get up early and be disciplined with your routine. You got to get your phone out of the room. You got to eat the right foods. You got to go to the gym. Like there's a lot of stuff that we have to do to get to this point in life, but it's so worth it, right? It's so worth it compared to thinking about how a lot of people live and settle.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're listening to this, you have a choice. You
Mhm.
can choose to continue to go down the path that you're going, and you can continue to say, one day I'll go get that test. One day I'll change my eating habits. One day I'll go to the gym. And that one day becomes no day. Or you can make today day one and say, I need to make the change. I need to go hit 200 years old and be doing my bicentennial triathlon. But it doesn't happen if you don't make the change. And we really live by that day one mentality of we're not going to wait for tomorrow. If we want something, we're going to do it today. When we went to go see you, we didn't say next year we're going to go see you, Sean. No, we had the opportunity. We chose it. We made it happen. It was an incredible opportunity to go out there and work out with you. I mean, I thought I was working out, and then I worked out with you and Matt. I'm like, holy shit, I need to like
Ugh.
level up a whole nother
Yeah, I was
level.
so sore.
And because of that, getting out there and hanging out with you and having those conversations, it really changed my trajectory of workout to from simple. Even though I had the app, I was just doing what I knew. And that's what we, in life, we all know what we know. That's why I need to get out there, expose yourself to other people like you and Matt, and other people who are trying to get fit, and surround yourself with winners like that. Don't surround yourself with people who are going to McDonald's every day. Don't surround yourself who are making excuses for why they're failing or why they're struggling. Like, you need people who have ownership and want to be successful, want to continue to level up, and want to get to that next phase of success and growth, and don't just get comfortable in what they're doing.
So you
Yeah.
asked us earlier, like, what else are you doing? Like, what else are you doing besides your morning routine? And that is it, is getting in rooms. Like when we came to Santa Barbara, like we invest in time in like sitting in conversations, being in the same room with you. Like we already worked out when we met each other. We already worked out every day. at 5 o'clock and we're at the gym, but investing in being in your community and in Unstoppable and having a coach that pushes us. Like you asked JC, like, how would he fall off? You know how important testosterone is. Like, why would you fall off? Because that's what we do. We have a million things that we're accountable for. And unless you make an investment in yourself to have a coach, for Matt to be our coach, to be in your community, like somebody to keep us on track. Like if you fall off track and aren't taking your stuff, somebody to make sure that you are, like, you have to do that. We're leaders, we're entrepreneurs, we're like leading everyone else in the ship. And you have to make a commitment to have people to hold you accountable for leading yourself. And that's the biggest thing, like putting ourselves in a small room with you and being in your program so that like we make sure that we have people pushing us.
Yeah, I mean, accountability is huge, and you hit the nail on the head. Like when you're so busy and you're running a business and traveling, and you got kids and da 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 da. Like it's really easy to get inconsistent in health routines or personal development. For whatever reason, like people will just forget or they put that stuff off. I mean, that's like 99% of the clientele in Unstoppable 365. It's business owners who are so busy and so growth minded in their business that they forget to prioritize their health and they don't work out, they don't eat right, their bodies and their health is depleting. So yeah, they need a plan, they need accountability, and they need that consistency long term. And Angela and JC, like I like to think about how I spend my time with people in thirds, right? So like the 30-30-30 principle. I don't know if you've heard that, but the bottom 30% are people that you can provide value to and essentially like mentor, inspire, or help, right? These might be clients, these might even be family and friends, and just somebody that you can impart some wisdom or life experience on. The next 30% are people at your level, right? People that you can sharpen one another. Every time you get around each other, you're inspired, you're fired up, you push each other. That might be like a workout partner, or for you two, you're on the same level. Every day you get that from each other, right? And then the last 30% is what you were alluding to, Angela, when you're saying like get in the right rooms. That's mentors. That's people with more experience. That's people that are further ahead than you on the journey who you can just listen to and get inspired by or learn from. Or if you want to get results faster, hire a mentor, hire a coach. Like you two jumped in Unstoppable 365, right? You're learning from people who have the results or expertise that's going to help you. And I think if you can apply that principle, the 30-30-30 principle, your associates, your networking, your friendships, your relationships. That's how like all your time spent with people is valuable, right?
Mm.
Like, dude, I cannot do small talk. If someone starts talking to me about bullshit, I'm like, dude, I love you, bro. I gotta go. Like, all right, hey, hope you have a great day. See you later. I last like literally 30 seconds in a conversation where there's no substance. If it's a client, I'm gonna pour into them, I'm gonna listen to them, I'm gonna help them. But if it's somebody that I haven't seen for a while, like an old friend or even like a family member at a barbecue, and they just start going on to some nonsense, if it was a family member, I'd call them out. I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, but but people that I haven't seen in a while, like I'll bump into them like 20 seconds into it, like, all right, dude, I gotta go. You have a great day. I hope you keep doing well. Because I just don't connect with what they're sharing. It's not like stimulating. Like I want to grow, man. I got places that I'm going in this life. I'm on a mission. And every decision we make, you sacrifice other choices that you had. Who are you
Yeah.
spending your time with? Like, what are you doing during your days? What book you're reading? You're sacrificing reading another book. The time you spend with clients or family or traveling, or like make sure that your choices amount up to something that's meaningful to you at the end. Because everything we're
Absolutely.
doing, I heard Jordan Peterson say this. Everything you're doing requires sacrifice. That you could be doing something else with a different person. Make sure that your choices are going to align you to where you want to be in life because you can't take it back once you've done
Absolutely. Well
it,
said. I like that.
So,
30.
okay, I want to wrap this one up. I appreciate you two being here. You're both awesome human beings, and I love just seeing like you two coming together is powerful. And I know you're going to do bigger and better things, and not necessarily because you need bigger and better things. Like we all strive to do great stuff in life, but that's just the trajectory I see you on. Like you're hitting stages, you're traveling a lot, you're posting content all the time. Now you're dialing in your health and fitness. So, do you have any goals in mind, or like? I like to have people on here and I like to ask them like, what's next? Like, I want you to call your shot because I'm a firm believer that you speak it out into the universe and it starts to take on a life form of its own. So what's next for you two? What's something big coming at the end of this year or 2026 that you have your sights set on?
think for us, we talk a lot about designing the life, and we talked about that with you out there. And right
Yeah.
now, we're slowly dialing that in to fit the perfect life. Like if we could just stretch our morning routine a little bit longer and spend more time at the gym, spend more time doing those things that really fill the buckets for us. And then, as we grow the business, that's important to us too, to be able to help other business owners with Unique Genius, but also expand that, get to more stages, get in front of more people, because I feel that human connection, that engagement, interaction is so important. We can have these conversations on Zoom, we can have these conversations on Facebook Live, but once you get to shake hands with somebody, actually talk to them and have real conversations, it's so much more powerful. And for us and for whoever we're speaking with too, because we're constantly learning and trying to better ourselves too. So really just getting out there in front of more people, more stages, however that looks, which involves more travel, which we both love too. So, I think all that continues to fill the things that excite us. So that's really the 2026 on top of growing Unique Genius. And
our Unique Genius goal is 10X. We called it out to our team. It's in all of our stuff at our summit. Like we take it very seriously. Our entire team and company read 10X is easier than 2X. And it's a different mindset. And that's what we're doing. And we're like, if you're not on board, if you can't see yourself expanding into, which meant we rose up leaders and we lost some, like if you're not the person in the right seat to be here when we are 10X, then we'll find a different place for you. So we are absolutely 10Xing this business. And it's a crazy, exciting era as AI and all the things transform and we focus on human connection. But that's the shot we're going to call designing our lives like no other and helping others do the same as we 10X.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. That's such a good book too. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. Great book. Gets you thinking about it gets you thinking, right? That's like the power in learning from others and working on yourself as it gets you thinking big picture in ways that you can expedite your growth and results, and enjoy the process. That's why we want to create a life by design, is so that every day you're in love with what you're doing. Every day you're excited. Every day you wake up and like today's Friday, and people will say like, "Oh, we made it to Friday in the gym." I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean, dude? Like, I don't even care what day it is. I'm just so excited to be doing this stuff." Like Sunday, Monday, Friday. Like, dude, that's irrelevant. If you're waiting for Friday, you're losing in the game of life. Like, I don't ever want this to end. That's the attitude, right? Like, I don't ever want this to end. That's why I asked you too, how long you want to live for. People ask me, I'm like, I never want to die. And they're like, what? You want to live forever? Like, hell yeah, don't you? Like, if you don't feel that way, you're doing something wrong. You're not.
Yeah, if you want to retire, people that are still like looking for a
Yeah.
retire, like, no, I want to be doing it.
You're not in alignment because there's always growth. I love to learn. I'm a curious person. I want to read all the books, meet all the people, have all the conversations, climb all the mountains, try all the stuff. Like, dude, this is my second chance at life. And so, when you're doing what you love, which you both are, and you're making moves and you're tapped into gratitude and you have a process to develop yourself every day, the growth is never ending. And that's how you keep the inspiration high. That's how you turn those mornings into I get to wake up, not I gotta get up, right? It's a big difference. I get to go to the gym, not I gotta go to the gym. And that mindset, like that's the epitome of success. Money and accolades and clout and all that stuff aside, if you feel that way inside of your mind, your body, your heart, and soul about how you're living, you're freaking winning. You're so successful. That's the secret right there. So if there's a couple listening to this, or if you're somebody that knows a couple out there who wants to get healthy, who wants to crush it in business, who wants to grow closer together and be one another's not just accountability partner, but like partner in life, man, where you're really doing it together. Share this episode with them. Follow JC and Angela Chanowsky on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram as well. They're making big moves. They're crushing it. They're having fun in the process. They're a part of Unstoppable 365. They're being examples for other people. And I just appreciate both of you for being here today and sharing with me.
Sean, we appreciate you, buddy. I look forward to seeing you next week, working out with you Friday, and keep doing what you're doing, man. It's men like you out there that are really inspiring other men who just don't know. They might be lost. They have no purpose. And just listening to your stories, following you. I've been following you for 2 or 3 years now. And it's just been incredible, the things you're doing and how much impact you're having on the blue collar trade right now. So keep inspiring, and I love you, brother.
Thank you for being here.